Wildlife species can be so unpredictable not just by their nature, but also by their place of appearance. Stick around to witness times when creepy creatures were caught invading backyard.
Oh, shit.
Do you have a gator in your pool problem? Do not worry at all. You can always call Paul and has a way with them. In this clip, you can see him even cradled a gator as if it was a baby and took it out of the pool of a scared resident in Florida. When the video was posted online, no one worried about the resident or the gator. All they wanted was the contact info of Paul. Now you must have seen a lot of party crashers, but definitely not as big as this one. A couple was taking a dip in a pool in Africa when suddenly an elephant approached them. The couple went stiff and dared not move a muscle, but the elephant just wanted to drink some water. Netizens joked that the elephant was very cool about the whole matter, as if saying, "I just needed to drink some water and will be on my way now." Happy deer. A family in Texas woke up to a pleasant surprise on Father's Day in 2010. As their children were readying to take a swim in their home pool, they found an unexpected visitor swimming there already. A baby deer was passing by and decided to take a dip in their pool. By the looks of it, it was feeling very comfortable while swimming, and you can't blame it. It was June after all. However, the family couldn't keep a baby deer to itself and handed it over to the wildlife authorities. Bear party. 9 years ago, the backyard park of a New Jersey home was invaded by the unlikeliest of visitors. It was a family of bears, a mama bear with 5 of her cubs. They played with the swing, climbed the slide, played with the cushions, and dipped in the pool. The woman who recorded this video was extremely sympathetic with the bears and informed her children that they will need to share their backyard with bears from now. Her children didn't seem too happy about it though. However, netizens wanted to know the make and model of the pool, as it was definitely a sturdy one to hold the weight of the mama bear as she climbed on the edge.
No. Hey, mama bear.
Trapped giraffe. In 2011, a zoo giraffe in South Africa had enough of the summer heat, so it casually jumped over into the leopard's enclosure and plunged into their pool. Now it did cool off eventually, but then it had to overcome another problem. It couldn't climb out of the pool. The zookeeper gathered soon after and tried to find a solution. They drained the pool and made makeshift steps, but to no avail. Eventually they called the fire brigade, who just demolished the pool. Finally, a happy giraffe climbed out of the pool and went back to its enclosure as if nothing had happened at all. Lost lion. There was no pool in its owner's house, so this lion decided to find one for itself. A resident captured this site in 2021 when he was coming out to check on the pool. He was filling it with water so he could swim himself, but the young lion had already occupied it. The resident called the police, who made inquiries if anyone was missing a lion, and soon enough they got a response from the owner and the lion was taken away. Make room. Hotel Solomar is a scenic retreat nestled on the coast of Puerto Ayora on the Galapagos Islands. There, guests are treated to a range of amenities, but there is one catch. The whims of this wild local sea lion named Wendy always come first. It's unclear exactly when Wendy began making appearances at the hotel, but from the looks of it, she feels quite at home. After spending her days swimming out at sea, wild and free, Wendy is known to return to the hotel grounds for a dip in the pool and a nap in her favorite lounge chair. But as one paying guest recently learned, she doesn't feel the need to ask for permission. Door banging. So this monkey knows how to knock on doors, but wait just a second, it was even trying to break the door down. The clip was uploaded by an anonymous user from China in 2016, and it took the internet by storm. Netizens had a lot of funny remarks about the event. Some said that it was probably a toilet door and the monkey wanted to go. Others called the person on the other side of the door a villain. Why wouldn't they open the door for this monkey? But then again, who wouldn't get scared by such a harsh door banging? Lion calling. In 2024, a security cam captured a spine-tingling scene. A lion was standing outside an apartment, and then it tried to open its door too. Looks like it knew what a door handle is, because it turned that too. Once unsuccessful, as the door was locked from the inside, it began scratching on the door. It wanted to open the door, and we don't know why. But I still can't get my head around the fact that it turned the door handle. What if the door wasn't locked? Well, in that case, we could only have hoped there was no one at home at that time. Kangaroo bout.
Oh, shit.
Whoever said kangaroos are cute were absolutely wrong. They are definitely cute if they are hopping away, but not at all if you find them like this. In 2016, a family's house in Australia became the target of an angry-looking kangaroo. It was trying to break the glass window of the house. Apparently, the kangaroo saw its reflection in the glass and thought it was a competing male that it needed to take out. But do look at the kangaroo with its scary-looking claws. It was buffed up and looked more like a cross between a horse and an alien. Imagine finding this angry kangaroo knocking on your glass window.
Oh, shit.
Suspicious mattress. 3 years ago, a chilling video surfaced on the internet. A few hostel residents in Indonesia began hearing hissing noises inside their room. They searched everywhere inside the building but couldn't locate the source for a whole week. But one day, one of them suggested that maybe the noise was coming from inside a mattress. So they took it out and tore it up. And they were right, as there was a whole nest of snakes cozying up inside the mattress. Netizens were shocked on seeing this video, and some couldn't decide whether the students were brave or stupid. But I will say they were quite adept at handling snakes. Surprise dignitary. Jetwing hotels. Yala, Sri Lanka is situated right next to a safari park, but in 2019, an American tourist found out the surprising way what that meant. When he came down for dinner one night during his tour, he encountered a surprising visitor there. It was an elephant from the safari park, and it was exploring the hotel as if it was a dignitary from another country. When the tourist uploaded the video on social media, he learned an astounding thing from a Sri Lankan netizen. This particular elephant was a regular visitor to the hotel. It took food from the tables and snoozed in the hotel lobby too. Now that is a true safari experience. Unfolding drama. Amazing events unfolded in a living room in Michigan in 2021. A child was watching cartoons on the TV. After a while, something started crashing outside the door, but it had no effect on the child. Suddenly, a deer appeared from the door, jumped on the couch, and crashed into the opposite wall. The kid didn't move till the time the deer hadn't jumped on the couch, and then he ran away screaming for his mom. Netizens were more surprised at the kid's obliviousness rather than the crashing deer. However, no one was hurt, and the deer was safely escorted to the neighboring woods. Barbarian's breach. So iron gates are supposed to be strong, right? Well, not so much after what happened in eastern China 3 years ago. A wild boar was crossing a road, but a truck appeared out of nowhere and startled it. So the boar made a dash for it, and I guess it didn't know that iron gates are strong because it rammed through. It was if it was a domino piece. And I'm also sure you had never seen a boar jumping off into a garden like a deer before this. If only the garden was wrestling ring, this would have been the best WWE entry ever. Elk's rut. Human beings have affected nature, but nature always tries to stay its course. The elks in Colorado have been walking the same route for hundreds of years now, and that route goes through Estes Park now. 9 years ago, a resident there captured this magnificent sight as well. The elks were walking in a group, and the males were protecting the females. In some circles, the appearance of elks is akin to good luck, so let's hope some elks cross our street too. Deer whisperer. When Lynn Smith of Austin, Texas came out of his house one day in 2023, this isn't what he was expecting. There was a deer waiting for him outside, but that was not all. When he went further out after the deer, there were about 3 dozen other deers waiting for him. But Lynn took it all in his stride and began feeding the deers. Looks like Lynn had been feeding deers before as well, and they recognized him. That's why when they got hungry this time, they came to him. Great job, Lynn. Cuddly friend. In 2019, a couple in Adelaide Hills, Australia, captured a mesmerizing encounter. A koala bear had been visiting them for a few days now. It used to just sit in a nearby tree. The couple left food and water for it in a bowl. However, one particular day it decided to climb down and approach the family in the pool. The wife gave it water from the pool too in her own hands. Looks like they made a really cuddly friend for themselves. Tigered prank. Go to Dubai, they said. It will be fun in the swimming pools, they said, but not for this group of friends in 2023. They were posing excitedly for the cameras when a tiger appeared from behind them. You should see them making a run for it after that. The friends slipped on the side of the pool and fell too, but they did everything they could to get as far away from the tiger as possible. Later on, it was revealed it was a prank pulled by one of their Dubai friends. Well, I guess we really don't want a friend like this. Surprise Gator. Now this has got to be the shock of a lifetime for this couple in Florida. They were peacefully taking a dip in their backyard pool one night 3 years ago when suddenly a small gator appeared out of nowhere and joined them in the pool too. The husband jumped out of the pool first, but the wife was slow to react. The gator seemed to be hungry too and bared its fangs at the wife, but thankfully they managed to escape from it. Evening stroll.
There we go. Bit of a rhino in the street.
Now, this rhino just wanted an evening stroll, but chose the weirdest of places to do so in 2023. While citizens were shopping on the main street in Chitwan, Nepal, this rhino appeared out of nowhere to be part of the crowd. It walked calmly on the road and was gracious enough to leave a way for oncoming traffic as well. All it was missing was a shopping bag, or else it might just have been interested in some vegetable too. Residents were amazed at the terrific sight and even followed the rhino as it strolled away into the wilderness. Saving a lizard.
Really doesn't want me to touch him, so I've got this and I'm gonna try it.
An Australian resident found this blue-tongued lizard floating in his pool. If it had been anyone else, they would have been running away screaming, but this gentleman knew better. Blue-tongued lizards cannot swim for too long in water and can sink, so he took a folding chair and used it to provide support for the lizard and hoisted it out. Great job, sir. You definitely saved a beautiful life that day. The lizard seemed grateful too. Splash of bear. Eight years ago, a resident in Southern California heard a splash from his pool. When he went to check, he realized something astonishing. It was a bear in his pool, and it didn't look like the bear wanted to leave anytime soon too. It was summer, and the heat had become unbearable, so the bear had no choice but to plunge into the first source of water that it could find. The resident didn't bother the bear either, or tried to disturb its dip, but the bear did leave after a couple of hours. Duck moose.
Tonight with a rather bullish backyard intruder who triggered a bit of an amusing neighborhood watch. A moose on the loose who was ultimately found in a pretty unnatural habitat.
An Ottawa couple who got a wild surprise when they discovered a moose taking a dip in their backyard pool in 2023. Paul Koch walked to his window one fine morning around 7 a.m. to watch how the weather was, but instead he found something else entirely. It was a moose in their pool, and it was thrashing around to get out of the pool, but to no avail. Paul had pulled out smaller animals from his pool before, but this was a first. However, the moose managed to pull itself out after 4 full hours of struggle.
When I came up to get breakfast, walked by the window, there's the moose, struggling to get out of the pool.
Unlikely host. If you ever want to have a view of wildlife from the comfort of a sofa, well then Singita Boulder Lodge in South Africa is the destination for you. A tourist there captured an amazing sight in 2020 as she came back from a trip to a nearby lake. She found a leopard waiting for her on the sun deck of her suite. It even made its way towards her, but luckily the windows were closed. Netizens had nothing to say about the incident. Looks like they too got scared like me by the prospect of a leopard welcoming you back in your room. Night Hunter. In 2019, a woman in Glendale, California heard scary noises outside her house one night. When she checked the security camera videos in the morning, she realized what it was. A mountain lion had been chasing a deer the previous night, and somehow they ended up in her backyard pool. But netizens had no sympathy for the woman. They said if human beings are going to build homes in the habitats of wildlife animals, they should be ready for incidents like these. And maybe they are right too. Happy Monkey. In 2018, a local news channel in India reported an interesting incident. A wild monkey in Pune had acquired a peculiar habit. It used to swim in the public pool, and it was very disciplined and considerate about the human swimmers too. It jumped into the pool daily between 1 and 1:30 p.m. when there were the least amount of people there. The lifeguards there also gave it its space and directed the swimmers to stay on the opposite side of the pool every day during the time the monkey took its daily dip. The monkey wouldn't waste much time and would be on its way after a short dip. Chilling kangaroo. In 2019, a fire broke out in New South Wales, Australia. Native animals were seeking out any relief they could from the heat and fires, including a kangaroo who took a dip in a backyard pool in New South Wales. The roo was filmed at a property in Mariwa in the Upper Hunter region. The short clip showed the kangaroo staring directly into the camera while casually standing chest deep in water. The property's owner filmed the encounter and posted it on social media. The roo spent a few hours chilling poolside before making its getaway. Raccoon's pool. Now take a look at this cheeky little raccoon. It was found by a Canadian resident in his backyard in 2020. The raccoon was in no way scared by the owner. It took a round of the pool as if it had been doing it for many times before now. Easy as you please, it reached the stairs of the pool and then began swimming as if the pool belonged to it. It even had the slightest of grins too, as if saying, "This pool now belongs to me, now who man?"
The raccoon is going.
Lucky owl. Barn owls have soft feathers that absorb water, and they can easily drown in steep-sided pools. But in 2017, this lucky owl was rescued just in the nick of time. No one has any idea how the owl fell into the pool. Maybe it thought the pool was shallow and just wanted a drink. Or it could be that it fell into it by some chance. Whatever was the case, the owl's wings had become heavy enough to stop it from flying away. But thankfully it was rescued soon after. Arizona heat. In 2023, a resident in Scottsdale, Arizona wanted to swim in her pool on a hot summer day. But as she was about to go outside, she realized something else was feeling the heat of the day too. It was a mountain lion, and it was drinking the cool water from her pool. Experts say whenever you see mountain lion, you should slowly walk back while keeping your eyes on it. And that is exactly what the resident did before recording the peculiar sight from inside the safety of her house. Invading lions. Tanzania is home to the largest population of lions in the world and is a top destination for safari goers. But as far as Tanzanian residents are concerned, the lions come to them. Same thing happened in June 2021 when a Tanzania man returned home. He heard some growling noises and understood exactly what it was. That made him cautious, and he slowly began to trace the source of the growls. When he reached the kitchen, he found it. A lion was staring back at him from the kitchen windows, and a lioness was sitting far behind too. Maybe there was nothing to hunt in the jungle in that day, but thankfully the lions went back after some time. Brave catcher. In 2022, a resident in Indonesia detected a bulge in the ceiling of his storeroom showing presence of more than one snake. As a result, a snake catcher had to be called in. When the worker removed part of the ceiling, it revealed part of an ominous-looking python. When it realized it had been found, the snake tried to move away, but the catcher was quicker and tugged at its tail, and down came the snake along with the ceiling. The snake was quite dexterous and did its best to evade the catcher. However, the catcher managed to trap it in the end. When netizens saw the video, they marveled at the bravery of the expert. And true enough, he did save at least one life on that day. Weird meeting spot. This has to be the strangest toilet you have ever seen. When an Australian resident pulled up the lid, this is what she found. It was a whole group of slimy looking frogs. And it is anyone's guess since when they had been occupying this particular spot. Netizens found the scene funny and blamed the woman for interrupting an important meeting. However, netizens from Australia brushed it off as nothing. Apparently it is a normal thing to find frogs in toilets there. And frogs find their way to such toilets in order to escape the heat of the sun in summers. Permanent resident. While vacationing at a resort in Malaysia in 2010, an American family found something else enjoying its time there too. It was a 2 meters plus monitor lizard, and it seems quite obvious that it was a permanent resident of the resort. It came out of the bushes slowly and gradually, and then casually made its way to the pool for a little swim. It got out after a few seconds, but then plunged into the nearest pond as well for a cool off bath, and then slowly swam away. The family laughed at the sight though, but if it had been me, I would have been running back to my room and locking the door twice before barricading it. Property deal. Lion's Head, Vail, Colorado is situated near the habitat of mountain lions. But in 2022, a news channel reported a peculiar sighting in the town. A mountain lion had arrived at an apartment building and was exploring around and inside it. Looks like these lions are also interested in getting apartments now. Pity that the property's dealer was not available on the spot. Who knows, they might have given the mountain lion a discount too. But mountain lion got scared when it saw a woman with her dog. Well, all we can say is that it didn't find the friendly neighbors that it was expecting. Strange invasion. In 2021, an Indian home got invaded by a large cat. And it was so large, it was actually a leopard. Somehow it was scared itself and was trying to hide behind the only thing it found there, which was a small plant. But try as it might, it couldn't hide. It was hissing and growling as well. How did it even made it there is anyone's guess. But it gave a whole day of fright to the homeowner before the wildlife authorities came to fetch it away. Cozying up. 3 years ago, a family in Thailand found a creepy visitor in their home. It was hiding behind the sofa, and it was none other than a king cobra. Apparently, it crawled in through an open window while the family was out, and it had been cozying up behind the sofa for some time now. The family evacuated the house immediately and called a snake expert who also was a circus performer. The expert caught the snake easily and threw it away. Bear Patrol. We knew bears are nocturnal, but to be prowling just outside our homes is definitely a new development, or maybe we couldn't capture its proof till now. 2 years ago, a resident in Altamont, New York saw this on their security camera. A bear crossed their porch the previous night, but it wasn't alone. Its 2 cubs followed soon after as well. Maybe they were scouring for food, but hey, there is enough of that in their natural habitats. It could be that they were just exploring human-made houses out of curiosity. Lost pack. Looks like a mama fox lost her way in the United Kingdom. In 2023, while observing the rainy aftermath from his glass door, a resident was surprised to find a strange pack appearing in front of him. It was a fox with 6 cubs, and it seemed to be in a hurry too. It was adorable to see the cubs attracted to the mother as if she was a magnet herself, but it realized soon that this wasn't the ally it was looking for, and returned immediately. Wrong bedroom. In 2027, an Indonesian child in a rural town came to tell his mom about something strange in the toilet. Well, that something strange turned out to be a 20-foot python. The snake was actually sleeping there. The mother called the neighbors and they captured the python. Apparently, Indonesian people are quite adept at handling snakes, so they didn't need to call any experts for it. The neighbors went on to show the python to the people in the street too. Ferocious prowler. A resident in Louisiana had second thought about their doggy door when a 5-foot alligator crawled through it in 2023, and it was a young, ferocious gator at that too. The residents hid in other rooms and called the Fish and Wildlife Department to rescue them. The officers from the department captured the gator after some struggle and then tied its paws behind its back safely. But even then, it was squirming and trying to get a bite. This is definitely an eye-opener, I must say. Never underestimate an animal because it is small, and keep a safe distance. Fridge Raider. A resident in Wisconsin was missing items from his fridge every morning, so he installed security cameras all over the house to find out the culprit. He thought it was one of his kids, but the real culprit was beyond his wildest imaginations. A honey badger entered through the cat flap and went straight for the fridge. It opened it with a jerk and then went on to explore the contents. It was a fussy eater and ignored the meat, eggs, and cheese and went for the Bakewell tart, but when it realized it was being watched, it gave a comical pause worthy of an Oscar, and then ran away through the cat flap again. Mammoth bison.
Hi, baby boy. Don't get back here. Don't get back here. Do not get back here.
30 years ago, a rancher couple in Texas decided to raise a bison on their ranch. They wanted to train their kid actually and bought a baby bison. 7 years later, the bison outgrew the child by at least 1,000 kilograms. And as it happened, one day they forgot to lock the bison in the barn. And so the bison decided to explore their house too. It went in from one door, and when its body came into the frame, you could tell it was a mammoth-sized bison. But upon seeing one of its kin's head on the wall, it immediately left the premises.
Oh, well, bye.
Buzzing square. One year ago, the New York Times Square buzzed, and it buzzed with thousands upon thousands of bees. For some reason, they were attracted to a hot dog cart. According to Andrew Coate, founder of the New York City Beekeepers Association, New York legalized beekeeping in 2010, and the practice has increased exponentially since. Therefore, these particular bees must have come from a huge local beehive. However, investigators haven't been able to pinpoint the location of that hive. However, licensed experts soon swarmed in after the bees too, and captured them all.
We got a guy. You know, with so many of them.
Crickets invasion. In a bizarre turn of events, an explosion of Mormon crickets overran the town of Elko in Nevada in the summer of 2023. They caused nightmares for residents and businesses alike. They were on the roads, in the parks, inside houses, and in the swimming pools. The crickets outnumbered the human population by 75 to 1. The local pest control business not only had to work overtime to get rid of their weird invaders, but had to keep their phones off at night just to get some sleep before going in the next day. Escaped zebra. In 2023, a zebra escaped its enclosure and galloped for hours around South Korea's capital Seoul before being safely recaptured. The zebra reportedly burst through the wooden fence around its pen in Seoul Children's Grand Park Zoo in the eastern part of the city in the mid-afternoon before making its bid for freedom through the capital's busy streets. Authorities chased the zebra throughout the city before cornering it in an alleyway. They used tranquilizer darts to subdue the animal before taking it back to its enclosure. Open discussion. A family were left shocked after waking up to find a 3-ton hippo swimming in their pool. Brent Reed, 47, said the giant male was discovered by a night watchman in the garden of his home in Maun, Botswana in the early hours of the 31st of December, 2020. The safari director managed to capture pictures of his youngest son and his friend gazing down at the wild animal, which he said appeared completely at ease with their presence. Even though hippos are known to be ferocious creatures, this particular hippo didn't pose anything like that. And on the next day it vanished in the night just like it had appeared. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.